Welcome back to The Four. Kicking off this Friday and running all weekend is the 15th annual Cherry Capital Comic Con, also known as C4.
Yeah, and a place for all pop culture fans to come together and celebrate the community that they have built. Joining us today is Nick Gibson from the Phoenix Press. Welcome to The Four. Nick, you are no stranger to cons, and you have some amazing items, of course, that we are going to showcase here. But thank you, Nick, for being here, man.
Oh, thank you. Pleasure to have me on.
Of course, as always. So we want to talk to you about your comics. So the Phoenix Press is your publishing company, if you will, or I should say your comic thing that you have set up. I'm a loss for words. But let's talk about the Phoenix Press. How did this get started? What brought you into that?
So I was a part of a separate company for about 10 years, joined them in like 2008 or so. And then probably about 2019, I branched out, left the company, and then I started the Phoenix Press as kind of like my own initiative. I kind of treat that era as kind of like my mentorship, like my apprenticeship. I still view the man as like my mentor. I have a lot of respect for him. But it was kind of just time for me to spread my wings. And at that point, I had all the tools necessary, you know, right up here to kind of start my own company. And that's kind of what's led me to where I am now.
As we were talking about your comics, let's talk about what you have going on right now for everybody if they're interested in checking out your books. But let's talk about what you've done and what you have here on the horizon, Nick.
Yeah, so I have a couple different books. I actually kind of have them right here. So I've done 2 issues of my Cyberpunk Samurai comic turned Samurai. That's the one that's currently on Indiegogo right now. It's done really well. Our goal was about $1,300. We got that in a week and a half, so now we're just trying to go for stretch goals. So that's really awesome. And then my other comic book that people have been really responding to is Creature. Let's kind of get that, you know.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of... Yeah, it's a really nice book. I'll actually be doing issue 2 this fall, so people can kind of look forward to that one. It's going to be really freaking sweet. So yeah, I'm a man of many talents.
That's very cool. Now, who does all the artistry work for you? Do you do it yourself, or is that someone that you have that help with?
No, I work with a team of like really creative people.
Okay.
The man who does the pencil and inks for these books is a man named Brian Q. He's a artist out of Argentina that I work with, and then I got like art editors, letterers, and then the cover for like this book was done by Xevious. The cover for this one was done by a former Marvel artist named Arvell Jones, really cool guy. And yeah,
those are super cool. I love the samurai one. It looks like Cyberpunk meets samurai. Like, it's very cool looking. I love that so much.
That's exactly what I was going for. It's like a samurai from feudal Japan is transported to like the cyberpunk future 2100. He's kind of left to his own devices. He's got to make his own way and whatnot. So yeah.
That is so cool. How did you come up with these stories, Nick? Was it something that was just kind of in your brain that you had something to work on, or was it something that you kind of drew inspiration from?
With this one, it's kind of like a mashup of like all my favorite things. Like this one is kind of like a mashup of like The Matrix, Ghost in the Shell, Blade Runner.
Very cool.
And then Creature was basically me wanting to do like my own kind of version of Batman. So like, yeah, this is very much like a Batman-inspired character. There's other influences in there as well, but Batman's kind of like the primary one.
Now, as a publishing house, are you planning in the future to bring in other authors, other artists, and helping them to do what you've done and take your original work and bring it to the public?
Most certainly. I'm kind of like in the building up stages of things. Like they're going up well.
We're talking to Nick Gibson from the Phoenix Press, and we're talking to him about his comics that he is pushing out and what he has on the horizon.
Self-publishing, man, Nick, that is a huge undertaking, my dude. I mean, usually, that's what a lot of people who are listening to this may not recognize is there's one person that pretty much handles this for everyone else at most major companies. You're wearing 8 or 9 different hats. Exactly.
What are some of the hurdles with that, Nick?
Exactly.
Like, what do you go through kind of on a daily basis? Is it you're just everything's busy all the time, or how do you go about doing that?
It kind of goes in spurts. Like there'll be like sometimes where it's like every day of the week I'm like doing something. There'll be like months on end where like barely anything is happening.
Right.
Where like my artists are kind of working on their stuff. And it's like I have like very little that I can do. I would say as far as struggles, like marketing is kind of an issue for me because I'm not that experienced in it. Just kind of getting your word out there. Making the comic book, honestly, the process itself is relatively easy and painless, relatively speaking. Anyway, trust me, there's some stuff I want to look like
right.
like,
of course, but if you love what you're doing, it I'm sure makes it so much easier.
I will say this though, there's no better feeling of when you finish a book. You got a successful campaign, you get it printed, and like that first time you hold it in your hands and you like look down on it, you'd be like, I created this. You like it goes from like thoughts in your head, images, to like an actual thing you're holding.
Right. Wow. That's
gosh darn it, that is like the best feeling in the world, and I want everybody to feel that.
Right. I mean, that is, you know, when you take something that you have so much love and passion for and you craft it to something that is what you had in your head, and then it's in your hands, and that's what the joy that you're bringing to those kids and to anybody who wants to enjoy comics is that exactly. And so, I mean, hats off to you, Nick. I can honestly say it's a pleasure to have met you here in Cadillac when you were here for the PopCon, and I can't wait to see you again when you're up this way. But for anyone who is looking to get their hands on your comics, how can they do it, good sir?
All right. Well, you can buy them digitally on Amazon. And if you want physical copies of the Samurai comic, you can currently buy them on Indiegogo. I have like a catch-up tier where you can get like all 3 books.
Nice.
Physically, I'm still kind of working on like outside of campaigns to have them available physically, but digitally you can get them on Amazon right now for like your Kindle.
Very nice. And you can catch all of that in the article on our webpage at 910news.com. As well, we'll have something on our Facebook for socials after the fact. Nick Gibson for Phoenix Press, thank you again, man, for being here. We truly appreciate it. Have a great day, man.
Thank you. It's an honor.
So remember, kicking off this Friday and running all weekend is the 15th annual Cherry Capital Comic Con, also known as C4. You won't want to miss the vendors, celebrities, artists, authors, and all the amazing guests.